Welcome to the 8th video in this series, making Frogger with Godot. In this video, with a little bit of luck, we're going to display what the current level we're playing is and have that increment each time we complete a level. So the levels inside our game are complete when we satisfy all of the conditions of being home. So in other words, when we've activated all of the 5 bases here. Now to test this out, it's going to be a little bit of a pain having to do all 5. So I'm actually going to make a big cheat here and select these are 4 home bases, delete these so that we've only got the 1 home base to deal with. And I'll do Control S to save. So our level display, we're going to display in the top right hand side of the UI here. So I'm going to select the game UI and then let's have a look. I'll zoom in a little bit here. Okay, so we can probably take this label here actually. I'm going to copy this label and then select the margin container and paste the label in there. Now it's landed in the middle here, but we can go up to the sizing and then horizontal go to the end and vertical go to the beginning. It's up on the top right hand side. And for the text that we're going to have by default, we'll have level and 0, 1 in there like so. So Control S to save, and that's the UI part almost done. What we can do then is drop into the scripts and our code. So I'll drop into the script view here. The way we're going to do this, you've probably guessed, is using signals via the signal hub. So each time we complete a level, we'll emit a signal from our game controller, and that'll inform then our game UI. It'll also reduce the time left and things like that. So if we look inside the game controller code, so I'm inside the gamecontroller.gd, although I've got the game UI scene selected. Let me select the right scene. There we go. Gamecontroller.gd. At the moment we're printing level complete, which is great, but not particularly useful. So what we'll do then is write ourselves a new function, which is actually going to deal with the level being complete, and we'll call this level completed. So what we want to do here is want to reduce our frog time, and I chose to reduce this by 5% each time. So I did frog time and multiplies by equal 0.95. I couldn't quite work out, after messing about with the arcade version, exactly what they were doing there. So it gets reduced each level by 5%. I found that was more or less okay. Then we want to reset the number of homes that we've completed to 0. So we'll reset that to 0. We get 1,000 points for this. So we're going to update the score with 1,000 points for completing a level. And now what we want to do is emit effectively a signal with the new level that we've gone to so the UI can update. To do that, we need to keep track of the current level, and we don't have that here. So we're going to take the score, copy that, and change this for level. That's initially going to have a value of 1. That's the level that we're going to start with. And then down inside the level completed function, what we can do then is we can increment this by 1. And now we can emit a signal to actually tell the UI to update with this value. So let's go to our signal hub, and then we can type here signal. Then we want level completed, and I'll take this one up here, and this is the level. Then we want to emit this as well. So I'll take this one from here and paste that there. So we want the level and an integer, then the level, and we're emitting here the level completed. So let's go back to our game controller then. Once we've updated the score here, then we can emit a signal. So signal hub dot, and we'll emit level completed, and we can send in the new level number that we're playing. So now we complete a level, we are emitting a signal with the level number, and we can update the label in our game UI. Before we can go and do that though, I do want to add another function into here, and that's a call to our restart frog time. I'm really worried about forgetting that one. If I forget that one, then things aren't going to restart properly, which is done up here on lines 35, 36, and 37. Okay, so with that done, what we can do then is go over to our game UI. So I'll select the game UI scene at the top here, then go to the gameui.gd, and we can drag in a reference to our label. I'll probably call this actually level label, so a little bit more descriptive. Drag in a reference to this and save, and then go into distraction-free mode. And inside the ready here, then what we can do is connect ourselves up to the signal. So we want the signal hub and level completed, and we can connect ourselves up to on level completed. Going to go to the signal hub and grab the definition, go back to the game UI, down here func, and we want on level completed. Then we can get hold of our level label, and we can set then our text. That's going to be equal to, and then we can do our level and a formatted string. And now we complete a level, what should happen is we should have things being updated. And before we run this, actually, I'm just realizing in the game controller, did I actually? No, I didn't. Okay, so we need to invoke the level completed here as well. Don't we? That would be a good idea. So we can go ahead now and run this. There is going to be one slight issue with running this, and that is that when we land in the home, it will still stay with the sprite there, but I want to check that on the top right, we go from level 1 to level 2. So let's try, yes, we do. And we've got a new frog down the bottom, and the timer also reset over here. We'll deal with this in a moment. Looking at the timer reset, there is one thing actually I did notice in the game UI code here. So in the frog time started, this is when we've set things up with a max time. I'd like to print this actually. So to make sure that this is working when we go from level to level, because it should reduce. So we can print the max time value here. And the other thing actually we probably should do here is we should probably also set the progress bar's value immediately to that as well, because I think we've got a sort of every half a second timeout. That might cause a little bit of a delay there. So I'm also going to set this value in here as well. So again, I'm going to run the application and speed this up a little bit. I just want to check the times. Okay, so I've completed the level, which wasn't very difficult. Obviously, the frog's in there, and we've got the frog time started 28.5 for level 2. That's what I wanted to see, so the timer is being reduced. I'll leave that line in there though for later on when we complete more levels. What I'd like to do is address the issue with the home where the sprite is basically staying visible. So we're going to need the same code actually that we've got here, more or less. So I'm going to be extremely lazy and copy this from the gameui.gd, and then in the home.gd, we don't even have the ready, which is interesting. So I'll do func and underscore and ready inside here and paste the code that we had there from the game UI. So we're hooked up to exactly the same signal. It's just we don't have a label. What we want to do when we've completed the level is make the sprite non-visible. So we'll take our sprite 2D and we can do dot and hide. If we don't do that, it stays visible, and also the area entered doesn't work properly here. Our frog would die instead of completing the level. Now we have the yellow here because we're not using a level, so we can underscore that to get rid of that if you want to. But now we should be able to go up through the levels whilst we play the game. So I'm going to speed this up. Okay, and I've got to level 3. I can already see that the time is steadily reducing. It's maybe not reducing quite by enough actually, so I'm going to close that down, close down the output to go back to the game controller. I did spend quite a bit of time fiddling around with this, but maybe this should actually be 0.9 rather than 0.95. And the other thing I'm going to do now is actually go to the level, go to 2D view, and come out of distraction-free mode, and duplicate this home, and then move it along. So I've got another one here, so we've got at least 2 of these to test with. And I'm going to run the application, speed things up, and I just want to test that everything's working okay. Okay, so I'm back after a little bit of playing around here, and I'm sure you've seen in the speed up on the screen what I've done, but it does seem to be working okay. So everything clears up when we get to the final base, which is okay. Otherwise, the other base remains filled, and the time seems to be reducing nicely as well as we go up through the levels, and also the score seems to be fairly accurate as well. That's pretty cool. All right then, so I'll close that down and close down the output. Now, before we leave this particular video, there's one thing that has been irritating me a little bit with this when I was playtesting is the fact that we can do this, which we shouldn't be able to do. So let's limit the frog as well. It's pretty simple to do. Let's go into the script view. Do I have the frog here? Yes, I'll go into distraction-free mode. What we need to do is simply inside the unhandled input at the top here, we need to restrict this here depending on what our current Y position is. So we can say, and here, we're going to do down if the global position.Y is less than the start position.Y. And that should have us now no longer being able to move down. So I'll double check, yep. And I should be able to here move down. Excellent. But I can't go below the starting row. Okay, that was annoying me. That's now fixed. Excellent. So I'll close that down, close down the output out of distraction-free mode and back into 2D view. And I think that's a good place to stop for this particular video. We've made good progress again with the game controller. We have one more sort of a core milestone to do, and that's the lives. So we'll take a look at that in the next video. In the meantime, thanks so much for watching this one and sticking with me. Hopefully you're enjoying it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.